Hello everyone! In this video, we're going to learn about the modern way to build the web using Gatsby, React-based framework for creating websites and apps. With Gatsby, you can easily get access to a lot of useful tools and services like Shopify, Stripe, and others, thanks to more than 2,000 plugins, and you can build your own if you need it. As a result, you're gonna get optimized for performance websites that are fast by design and use intelligent prefetching of the resources to make interactions with the site very smooth and comfortable. I'm gonna cover the next topics: how to create a Gatsby website using a starter template and how to customize it, how to install and configure the new plugin, deploy to Netlify and configure an automatic build pipeline. In the end, we're gonna get a very fast and optimized website for free. If you are interested, let's get started. First of all, you need to install Gatsby CLI. Copy this command and execute it in the terminal. To check that everything is configured correctly, you can run Gatsby help command. It should display some CLI commands with information about them. Now when we have the CLI ready and available globally, we can navigate to the folder where we want our site and create a new website. You need to run a command like this, where you start by Gatsby new and provide the name of your site. In the example, it's called Gatsby site. The last parameter is a path to the starter template, which you want to use for the new site. You can start with the default Hello World template or choose something else from the starters library. Starter template is very helpful to quickly get some base for the website and then customize it for your needs. You can navigate the library by categories. There are starters for landing pages, portfolio sites, blogs, and others. Just explore the library and pick what you like. I like this Gatsby Casper template. In the description section, you can see the features of the starter. I like that it's written in TypeScript and it looks good. To check the starter in action, you can visit the demo site by clicking this button. Here you can explore the site and check available features. Take a look at the code and decide whether you like it or not. Usually starters also have the showcase page with all elements displayed and explained. Here you can see the styling of the page elements, how it displays the media, code blocks, how to embed video and audio, and other details. If you like what you see, just go back to the starter library, where you can copy the installation command. And also here you can see some buttons to try the starter in Code Sandbox or Netlify. It's a quick setup way that will make your site live in minutes. All you need to do is provide access to your GitHub profile, so Netlify can set up a repository, and then configure the site details. And your site will be up and running in a minute, and you will be able to customize it by pushing the code to the created repository later. But let's start by setting up the starter locally, customize it, and deploy to Netlify later. So just copy the command, open up the terminal and go to the folder where you want your site to be created and execute this command. When the installation completes, you can navigate to the website folder as mentioned in these commands and run Gatsby develop to start development build. It will run our website starter in the local environment, and development build has a very useful hot reloading feature, which will increase your development speed because you can make some changes to the code and see the updates in the browser almost instantly. For a production build, you're gonna need to execute Gatsby build command. It will produce more optimized for performance build that will be used when we're gonna deploy our website later. Now let's click on the link to open up our website in the local environment. You're gonna see the same website as in the demo environment. To explore the code, stop the development build and open up the folder in the code editor. Here you can see source folder, configuration files, and public folder with static assets. But let's start with the Gatsby config file. It defines your site's metadata, plugins, and other general configuration. Here you can see and edit the website's title, description, site URL, add your own field and use it whenever you need in pages, templates, and components. You can see all plugins that are used by the starter. This one, Gatsby Transformer Mark, allows you to create pages using Markdown format. It parses the Markdown and you can use its content as HTML to display on your website. We're gonna talk about it in more details later. This one is adding TypeScript support. And here we can configure Google Analytics tracking ID and other parameters. Now let's check the Gatsby Node.js file. The code in this file is run only once in the process of building the site. You can use it to specify which files to process, to create pages dynamically, add nodes in GraphQL, or respond to events during the build lifecycle. You can see here how main page is created from the index template. Now let's explore the source folder. Here you can find your pages, components, assets, and other files. Usually starter templates have a README file with some project folder description or how to customize the template. This, for example, has information on how to remove the existing Git folder and set up a new one for you, and other helpful information. Next, let's open up the pages folder and check about TSX file. It's an ordinary React component with some CSS and JS styling. It's very useful to make some dynamic styles. You can see here that it's using some parameters as a background color. If you need a new page, you can create the same component in a separate file. If you want to have the same structure of the page, use index layout to wrap the content of the page, since it has main styles declared there, and you can check the template yourself and change some styles if you want. And we've seen that the starter uses this index page, and it's the starting point of the web application, and you can see that it uses this config description and config title and site URL, and it does this conditional rendering of the stuff based on this config. So you can just start exploring how this template is made, what it's loading for logo, for header, and other stylings for the page, and you can start customizing all of these parts for your own liking and your own needs. And you can just see, for example, what is this config, and its config is coming from the website config file. And if you need to, for example, change title or description or anything like this, you just go to this web config file. You can see there is like an interface describing the fields that is this config gonna have, and here you can see the specific values of it. So for example, if you want to change the title, you're gonna need to modify this field, and you can change logo, you can set up your own site URL, and additional functionality. So here is like show subscribe button, and if you don't want this functionality, you just can remove it. And for example, let's just run our Gatsby again. So let's just run Gatsby develop, and I'm going to show you how hot reloading is working. So it's just building a development bundle, and after that it is available in our local web browser. So you can see that there is a subscribe button. So for example, you can just provide your email here and subscribe, and for this functionality you need to set up these accounts. But for example, if you don't need this subscribe button, you can just make it false, save the configuration file, and you can see that the site was rebuilt, and it's rebuilt really quickly. And when you're gonna refresh your website, you're just gonna see that it just don't have this subscribe button anymore. And then let's just try something else. So for example, if you want to change the navigation bar here, you can add additional pages, or maybe you want to remove something. You can find it here under the components section. Under header, you can see this site nav. And if you're gonna scroll down, you're gonna see that it uses this like menu items, and you can see this here is a home, about, and for example getting started section, and you can just change it to whatever page you want, or you, for example, you want to remove it, you can just start changing these files. And as you can see, this is already updating in live. You can see how does Gatsby finds out that something has been changed, and it just refreshes and updates the site. So it really helps you develop much faster. So let's go to the component section and content section, and here you can see that we have images that is used throughout the application, and most importantly here is like pages using this MD extension. So it's a markup document, and it's really nice that you can create blog posts using this markup and providing this field called layout for posts, and provide some title, image, author, and date tags. Also here is like one of the important things is this post section, and you can just see how this post is created. So basically post content consists of this post HTML list, and other features is coming from this post front matter, and you can see that it has title, date, user date, image, text, and author. So it is actually coming from this markup. This part of configuration is what it's coming to the post. Yeah. So you can configure and edit anything you want. Let's see how our embedding of the videos is implemented here. So you can see that we have this video files embedded here, the audio, and you can just see in this full style how it's done. So it's basically just using these iframes, and you need to provide this information to the iframe, for example, for Vimeo, and configure a lot like width, height, and a lot of additional configurations, but it's might be not so useful. So I'm going to show you how you can embed additional videos much more easily. So you just need to go to the Gatsby remark embed video, and this is like plugin to embed a YouTube video in your Markdown, but it's not only about YouTube video, but it actually can be used to embed like anything, like a lot of other videos. So basically you can embed video from YouTube, or you can add it from Vimeo, and you can not even provide like a full length. You can just specify the ID of the video, and it's gonna be like ready to use. So I think it's much more convenient than just configuring this iframe. It also has like a lot of additional configurations. So let's get started. And just to use it, we're gonna need to stop our development server, and then run this command to add this plugin. It's gonna install it, and we can see that we have some changes in our package.json, and you can see that Gatsby installed this plugin. And after that, we can just go to the Gatsby config file, and we need to add this plugin to our application. You can see that we need to add it to the Gatsby config.js, and it should be under this Gatsby transform remark. So basically transform is working with this markup documents, and under the plugins we need to add this Gatsby remark embedded video. So we can just copy and paste this and configure some properties, but if you wanted to work with default configurations, you can just install it like this plugin. So basically if you want to use it plugin as a default one with default configurations, you just need to provide it just by name. But if you want some additional options like reconfigured or rewritten, you just need to provide this more like detailed configuration with options. And one really important thing that you need to take a look at this node. If you already like using this responsive iframe, you need to have your embed YouTube plugin first. So for example, remark responsive iframe, we need to use remark embed video before it. So we actually use this responsive iframe, so we need to specify our plugin before it. And yeah, it's actually fine to leave it with double quotes, but just to have like a more common configuration, we want to have it in single. So this is actually it, just to start using our plugin. And to test it, let's go to the full style test and actually try to embed our email. Like let's just do it, for example, plugin loaded video, and put it here like this and save it. And we need to run our Gatsby develop command, and after it's gonna build us our bundle, we'll be able to just test it in our web browser. So it's reloaded, and we can see that here is our initial video loaded by the loaded in an iframe, and here you see that plugin loaded video. There is some video, and it basically provides you same behavior, but the usage is much more convenient. So instead of using this iframe with configuring width and height and other configurations, you just provide the email tag and the ID of the video, and you can just achieve the same functionality. So this is example how to use plugins, and I hope it was really clear for you. Another thing that I wanted to show you is just for example how to display this configure how this postcards is displayed. So basically postcard here is this application's layout. So right now you see that this one is big and this one is rendered as small ones, and you can find it here. And for example, if you see that index is equal to 0, you guys just gonna provide this large, and you can just explore what this large means. And large is by default is false, but it uses it here just to add different stylings. So for example, if you want it to be more interesting, you can for example use like this, and for example every third one gonna be large, and you can just see that for example this one is big, the third one is again gonna be big. So it's really started to changing how it looks, and if you change it to 4, it also gonna be a little bit different, and it actually really started to shaping up differently. So after some changes, when you're gonna find that you configured it for your likings, you can just save it, and after that just follow this recommendations on how to set up it under different repository. So let me just show you what I've done for David Easy, and I already configured it to different for my own repository, and you can just start it here, and I'm going to show you how I changed this template, and how to deploy it on Netlify. And yep, we already have it here. So here you already see that I have changed some stuff. So basically doing some changes to the small changes, have changed the author here, and some more tweakings. I have changed the logo, and added some articles, and you can just see how easy it is to change your initial template to something like this. And when you like it, you can just push it to the repository. And now I'm going to show you how to set it up in Netlify. So Netlify is a platform that you can use to host your websites, and it's really cool tool, and it allows you to run projects at a global scale without any servers, and it has really nice CDN, and you can learn about pricing plans, and it also has a free starter plan. So it allows you to get started with your personal projects for free, and it has a lot of tools like automated builds for Git, deploy to global site previews, and it's really cool. So you can just start by logging in using your GitHub or creating an email. So just GitHub login is really easy. You need to provide your username, password, and after that it just gonna work. And here you can see that I already deployed this website to the Netlify, and I've configured the domain name, but and you can see here that there is been deployments, and you can go to the site settings and configure and see that it uses this repository to build it, and you can see that it uses this public directory, and it runs this Gatsby build command to execute it, and everything else is just happens automatically. So Netlify deploys every time you push the code to the master branch, production branch is master. So any pull request against your production branch, branch deploys starts deploying the branch, and you can configure different stuff here, and it's quite easy to set it up. And if you want to start creating like a new site, you just don't need to click this new site from Git button. Here you just need to specify what provider you want to get. For example, GitHub, just go there. For example, I'm authorized already, and then you just need to pick up what repository you want to create, pick up the branch, configure these commands, and that's it. But I'm not gonna do it. So yeah, pretty much the review of what you can do. And if you want to have some analytics, you can go here, and Netlify also has this form set up. So basically, if you need this contact form, you can just really easily create your contact form, providing this Netlify, and all submissions can be received here. So it's really useful thing to do. So it basically allows you to work without pretty much any backend, just static site. There's a lot of functions, plugins, and stuff like that. Basically, how you set up your domain, you just go to this domain management and just configure your primary domain. So yeah, just easy. And also Netlify enables you like automatic TLS certificates. So basically it creates you certificates issued by Let's Encrypt, and just renews it automatically in every 3 months. So it's really cool tool. Now, the last thing we're going to do is measure the performance of the site. As you can see here on the Page Speed Insights report, the site has got 100 points on overall performance, which is really nice. So that's it for introduction on how to build the site with Gatsby. I hope you liked it. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. Thank you for watching, and see you later.